Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Teakettle Talk. I'm Eldridge Alexander, your host to Season 2 of Voices Randomish, and next to me, to my left, as always, is my ride-or-die,
Dartania Winters.
And we're here tonight because we want you to have a sip and a seat. Tonight's Teakettle Talk, me and my sister, we've been kind of watching like all of these different relationship shows. So a lot of things that we're going to talk about this season are going to be related based on some of the shows that we've been watching on V.O.I.C.E.S. So there's a couple. One is the First Wives Club with Jill Scott. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. It's amazing. And then the other one is Bruh, B-R-U-H. And it's written by Tyler Perry. What I really like about this show, it's about four brothers. They're very successful brothers. They live in Atlanta. One is an architect, one's a doctor, one's a lawyer, and the other one is an aspiring entrepreneur. But when you watch it and you see the dynamics of it, you'll see that it's a lot of different relationship issues. So one of the things that I saw this week and some of the questions that came out, they were talking about past relationships. And the one gentleman on there, his name is Mike, right? He a lawyer and he got all this money and he don't like to settle down. So he got all these women, right? So he goes out to a restaurant and sees one of his women that he considers his side chick, even though he don't have no main chick, out with another dude, and he got the nerve to react. So the question out here for everybody is if your side or jump off is out with another man or woman, depending on what the situation is, do you have a right to react? I mean, they the side piece. How you gonna react? Okay, so I want to know what's your frequency on that. What do you think?
No, you ain't got no right to react. Matter of fact, you better act like you don't know me. We ain't in no relationship. We got a closed door situation. So you can't say nothing about who I'm out with, period.
Well, this fool goes into the restaurant on 2 occasions that she's with and proceeds to make a scene so much that he throws the drink in the guy's lap that she's with.
So just making an ass of himself.
Made a total ass of himself.
But what's the purpose? You finna go home with somebody else. You in here making a fool of yourself, making me look crazy. We ain't in no relationship, but...
And he telling everybody she just a side. She just to jump off, and then the one friend said...
So I don't understand how you get upset with that. How do you, because I make you look like a damn fool, so try that bullshit if you want to. I'm gonna make you look. I'm not playing the games.
Y'all just don't feel like if you only have jump offs and side pieces,
you can't get mad.
How the hell?
You can be out here with Susie, Cheryl, Patty, and Barbara, but I can't be over here with Bill. You better go sit your ass down somewhere.
So we got double standards for the side.
Double.
This is really crazy that y'all you got rules in place for the side, for the jump off. You got the nerve to have limits. I don't have no limits. So
if you don't go sit down somewhere.
So what the girl said is that, I'm going out on multiple dates. I told you, and I knew what this was. She said, I knew what this was from the jump. I did not have no expectations, right? But apparently he didn't like the fact that she really is sticking to the program. So I need to ask our audience out there.
Expect women to fall. So I don't want you messing with nobody else, but I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do all of this, but I want you to be faithful to me. But I'm not going to be faithful to you. Like let's not assume that I'm going to be faithful to you, because I'm still going to be sleeping with somebody else. I'm still going to be with somebody else, but I want you to only be with me. That's not how this shit works.
Right. And so then does that change the aspect of dating? Because she sees it as, look, I'm dating you and I can date this one over there and I can do. And so why is it that if we decide that we want to, as Lonnie Love says, multi-date, then you got a problem, because...
And it's not even that she's sleeping with all.
Right. She
can't go out. I mean, we got to eat.
Hell yeah.
We got to entertain ourselves. Let's go bowling. Let's go to dinner. Let's go out to the movies. Let's go hang out and get to know each other. You might be the one I decide I want to be in a relationship with, but at this purpose and this point, we're just trying to get to know each other, and I'm trying to get to know.
That's what she said.
I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket for you to decide. Oh no, I don't want you. I want to be with the other one.
Right.
Like that ain't how that work. That ain't how that works.
And the sad thing about it is because of the way the dynamics of the relationships, everything is a relationship. Let's just get that straight, people. I don't care what it is.
Situationship, a fucktationship. You know, we're gonna go over the
Complication ship, whatever ship you want to ride in, we on the ship because it's a relationship. And you have to remember that if you're in a relationship where it's the jump off ship, then let me jump off when I want to jump off, and don't be coming to me telling me about your judgmental stuff. Because what she said is that, oh, so you're trying to say I'm a hoe because I want to go out with different people. Like she said, I might only be sleeping with you, but I desire the company of other people. Because you ain't around, because you over with somebody else.
But you can go and entertain who you want, but I'm not allowed to. How does that work?
I don't even like the word allowed.
Does that work?
On what planet?
Whose mind does that work? Because that don't work in my mind. Like I'm trying to wrap my fingers around that. Like,
listen, I'm doing me. Do you hear me?
Who world does that work in?
I don't know. But it just, if you haven't watched the show, everybody, go out there and watch B.E.T., bruh. The episode that I'm talking about is season 1, episode 9. Look, I binged on it all this weekend because everything in there is about the dynamics of different relationships. What I really like about it is Black people's relationships. There's no laugh tracks, thank God, but it really does have some really good dynamics, and the conversation is really good. So like I said, you know, you got to really think about what's being said and then put your own self in the equation. Right. So the other piece is that she said that they were talking about this, and they said relationships. If a man wanted a woman in the future, somebody that he was really digging, and for some reason they didn't connect, and then later on he saw her later on, even if he was in a relationship with another woman because he didn't get closure, he'll still want her. So my question is women, anybody out there, especially for the ladies, when you have a relationship in the past, if you never really close that relationship and you see that guy again later on, do you still desire him the same as you did in the past? Or because you've moved on and grown, are you a different person?
Well, I did have that experience, and because I was so head over heels in love with this person when I was younger, when I ran into him again, the desire was still there.
Okay.
Now today, if I ran into somebody from my past, they from my past for a reason. We're not gonna go back down that road.
Yeah, I kind of look at it like this here. They in the past for a reason.
Right.
Like you said.
But see, me and him had never had a relationship, so there was never anything there. I just had this huge crush.
Okay.
So there was never a relationship between the two of us. So it was nothing that we were dating when we were younger, and then we separated and came back. That was not there. It was just somebody I had a crush on.
Okay.
So when I saw him again, the feelings were still there. I was still crushing, and I know more. That's that growth, y'all. That's that growth.
Yeah, because something happens, and sometimes it's all a fairy tale in our mind of what we thought that we saw in the person, and then you actually get and you see why the universe actually didn't make that connection.
The universe told you to go sit down somewhere, and you still shifted your way over there anyway.
So it kind of gives me the philosophy, the thing that I talked about all the time is that, like, if I have to push too hard against something, I know that it's not for me because the things that have come easily for me, and I don't mean easy, like I didn't have to work, but as if you did the part you were supposed to do, then another part came and that worked out, and then you did the part you were supposed to do, and then it worked out, like the flow was good.
Right.
Not where you had to like butt heads. Right. Because I always think of this is how I think about when I'm interacting with anybody. Does anybody out there know what a millstone is? All right, go all the way back to the Roman Empire and think about, like, in the 10 Commandments when they used to make people carry like these big concrete weights around. That's a millstone around your neck. It was a punishment. So for me, I really don't want to be dealing with anything that's going to be feeling like I have a millstone around my neck where I got to pull it and push it. So if it's meant to be, it's going to be, right? That's why I don't push against stuff. So if something's not working for people out there, how many of you are really trying to push and still make things work, as opposed to take your cues from the universe and say, hey, maybe it's trying to tell me that two bricks pushing up against each other are not going to make no movement and I need to move on. Right. So the last question we want to ask people for tonight for this segment is when you end a relationship, whether it's on good terms or bad terms, how soon is too soon to start in a new relationship? Especially if you're not really sure on what it is that you really, really want in a relationship. I'll say a romantic relationship because you could have a friendship relationship, a familiar relationship. Let's talk about romantic relationship. So I broke up with somebody who I was really, really caring about, and then something happened. How soon is too soon to get into another relationship?
The first year. Like, I was separated like years, 4 years between the first marriage and the second marriage. It took me so that I could be different. And then from the ending of the second marriage until now, I'm still single. Look, I'm still finding what I'm not doing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. So I think it depends on if you're really searching to find yourself and you're not trying to pour into somebody else immediately. Some people they need to have somebody to take care of. They need to have somebody there. They got to have a reason for something. See, I ain't wired like that.
I'm not either. I'm gonna say that I think that because growing up, being the second oldest of 9 children and always having somebody, I often felt like I needed to be doing something for other people to find my value in life. But now what I find is that the more I do for me, the more I see how my value, I see my worth in doing things for myself. And that might sound weird, but the more you really do for yourself, the more you grow.
Right.
And I've seen myself really, really grow, and especially in the last few years after the loss of my husband. So that's something for us to think about.
If you would have jumped into a relationship right away after your husband died, you wouldn't have that growth because you would be poured into another person.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be thinking about yourself. You wouldn't be trying to figure out what it is that you want, where it is that you want to be, what your next move is, because you would be focused on that person. Like I tell people, I go out to dinner by myself so that I can have conversations with other people. This for me is a huge growth because I wouldn't talk to anybody when I went out. I wouldn't say a word to anybody. I go out, I sit, it was just nothing. And so then I started enjoying going out because what I recognize is that when I'm like, if we're going out together, my conversation is focused on you. Like we're talking about what's going on. We're not really talking to anybody around us. So we miss out on a lot of conversations and a lot of people because we're focused on one another. You know what I'm saying? So you're not focused on somebody that's across. Well, hey, how you doing? You know, you don't really do that because we're having a conversation. So you're not really, so I go out by myself and I be like, hey, how was your day today? So I meet new people and I have new experiences because I'm okay with going out by myself. You don't have to focus on somebody else. So when you don't have somebody there, you can focus on things outside of you as well as focusing on yourself. But if you got somebody that's there, that's a permanent part of that, your focus is on them. Like you're trying to make sure they're happy and you know the situation is good, and you know people start to change when they get into relationships and things. So they're trying to make this person happy, and you know your focus changes.
And I think you forget who you really are and what you really brought to the relationship because, you, like you said, you stop focusing on who you were and what your gifts were and your talents, as opposed to trying to make that person be and feel and do what they want. So that can be the hazard of the relationship. Right now, I'm going to play a game with everybody before we end our segment.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask some questions, and when you answer it, you have to put the words, when I'm in bed, after it. All right. So, what's your favorite song?
Oh.
And I want everybody out there to think about this, and when you're done, put the words, when I'm in bed, after it.
I would have to say a Life Jennings song. So all of Life Jennings songs, I'm a huge Life Jennings fan. So
do you have one song that you can name offhand? Or let's Google it. You got your phone there, Google one. She's gonna Google a Life Jennings song, tell you what her favorite song is, in the bed. You should have had some fun with this, people.
I would have been prepared.
So
keep going with the question.
My favorite song right now is "Colors of Love" by Brian Culbertson. In the bed. Brian, hi. How you doing out there? I'll see you Friday on the hang. Or Saturday or whatever it is, but I know we hanging. Some other things for people to think about while you're thinking about and add the words in the bed to it.
Okay.
What's your favorite food?
Chicken.
Shrimp.
In the bed.
In the bed, y'all. Just so y'all know. Your favorite movie is?
Fifth Element. In the bed.
In the bed. Mine is The Godfather. Say it with me. In the bed. And my favorite color, I don't have one, but if I had to pick one, I would say black.
Purple.
Black and purple in the bed. So I want you to think about other things that you love, you know, your favorite vacation spot, your favorite, I don't know, whatever it is, hair color, anything you want, and add in the bed. So if you want to have fun and have something to laugh about, think about all the things that you really, really love. What's your favorite shopping site?
Oh.
Since you've been in COVID, people, what site have you been shopping from?
Amazon. It has been the...
Grab that glass, girl. In the bed.
Amazon has gotten a lot of my money.
My other one is Fashion Nova, the shirt that I'm wearing tonight, you guys, courtesy of Fashion Nova. 1-800-NO-CHAIRS. Yes, I'm a Nova babe. So, on that note, we're going to end this session and we'll come back to you with another session. But we want to thank you for joining us tonight on Teakettle Talk, because as always, we want you to have a sip and a seat because we want to know, what's your frequency?